that's a killer tune. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
Yeah. All right.
Ready?
Mm-hmm. Hello, and welcome to the Bel-E Scratch podcast. I am your host, Bel-E.
And I am your co-host, Scratch.
And today, well, put myself into a Tylenol coma for 2 days.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. I got sick last week.
Oh, yeah, you got a spring bug.
Yeah, spring bug, not to be confused with a spring fever. That is entirely different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Spring fever is the cup is half full. Spring bug is the cup is half empty.
Indeed. No, honestly and truly, both of those things have royally just fucked me up this time of year. I've never had a case of spring fever like I have done this year. And I mean spring fever, not spring bug.
Got a little of both.
Got a little both. Oh, yeah. Spring bug just made me all snotty and feverish. And spring fever has me wanting to go out and just moved like 3 states away.
Let's go fly a kite.
Yeah. Basically, let's go fly a kite. Yeah, basically.
That's right. Berry droppings.
I am basically just constantly at war with myself, trying to not schedule a 2-week vacation every month.
Yeah.
Because I can.
I've had some extended downtimes.
Yeah.
Man, it's hard to get back in the saddle sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
It really is.
Well, I don't mean per se just you get out of vacation. It's just the whole thing of, you and I are getting better with the trading thing. We're hoping that's basically to retire the both of us.
Right.
And that has essentially spurred...
this is batting practice.
Yeah, this is batting practice. But it has essentially spurred that part of myself.
Glad you reminded me.
What? Oh, checking on it?
Yeah.
All right. But it has spurred that part of myself that wants to go, like, I want to travel. I want to go overseas. I want a boat.
A boat would be nice.
A boat would be nice, but at any rate.
Well, okay, I'm not going to say this because people always go, oh, it's an interesting dynamic how we kind of undercut our dreams. Yes, I would love to have a large boat. But then there's the part that would make a person say something to the tune of, but I'll take just the ability to have a place to where I can put the boat in if I had a boat. Mm-hmm. No, let's ask for both.
Yeah.
See, I think we kind of, we think everything is a decision about the lesser of two evils.
It is not.
No, not necessarily.
No.
Maybe it's just one's better than the other. It's not a lesser of two evils. It's one's better than the other. You see how upside down our thinking has become? The lesser of two evils. No, how about one's just put it to you like this.
Yeah. Lesser
of two evils in the Olympics, they call that the difference between the silver medal and the gold medal.
Basically.
Okay. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And that's all that's happening.
And that's all that tiered, and everybody thinks it's like a pyramid. No, it's about 2 levels.
That's about it. It's like, do you want this or that?
This or that.
Yeah.
Make a decision.
Yes.
Okay, and don't make a decision that creates a mess that you personally would not want. I tell you what, that you personally would not want to clean up. I tell you what. All right, everybody in the room, try to imagine yourself getting a phone call from somebody that you know, anybody, and they're going to ask you for help.
Yeah.
An example from my past was a buddy called me at 3 o'clock in the morning. He was in a bad way, in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he could not get out. He called me first. He's got blood relatives in this town. He called me first. Nothing against them, but apparently they'd had it as well. I'm gonna tell you something. They'd had enough of him.
Okay, that's the context.
That's why. See, there was a time that I used to there was like a feather in my cap, and I'd go, "Hey, I'm the man." Well, I was the man because he had burned every other bridge he had, and those relatives being closer to him. They experienced it before I did, but it was eventually coming to me.
And this was that phone call.
And this was the beginning of that down. The phone call was the beginning of that downfall, where he had he called me from a. It was right. You were real small. He spent about 3 days on my. I went and got him. Spent about 3 days on my couch. After the second day, I called his brother. I was like, "Hey, man, you got to." I didn't even really, honestly and truly, I did not say, "Hey, man, I just went, "Hey, dude, I just got to tell you, he's been on my couch for 2 days." Maybe I called him the first day. I don't remember, but I know he was on my couch, and his brother's a good dude.
What the hell did the brother say then?
He eventually too sweet. He was like, "Oh, is that where he is?" Okay, be right there. No, there wasn't any kind of negotiation.
It was just
not in a pissed off. I'm gonna come in there and kick his teeth in way. Nor was it like
he wasn't surprised.
He wasn't surprised. His brother's a cool dude. I saw him about a year and a half ago.
Good.
I hadn't seen him in 25 years. I just grabbed him and hugged him. Because he's a great guy. But yeah, he collected
your buddy.
Collected his older brother, my buddy. Put him on a bus, sent him
packing.
Well, sent him down to be with the patriarch. Patriarch kind of had created, the whole, negative activity of the parent falls on the head of the children. And you just have to be, But anyway,
I get it.
So it was honestly and truly, I think it had a lot to do with he really didn't. It was a really interesting combination. It was his daddy was the wildest guy you can possibly imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, like, imagine a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
And that ain't a professional wrestler.
Like the personality of one. On
camera.
Yeah.
And have that dude be out on a date in the middle of a restaurant.
How does that person exist?
I'm just telling you. His dad was a gnat's ass hair from distance from that. And he wasn't a disrespectful person, not per se.
He had the personality of a wrestler.
He had honestly, truly, he reminded me of Dusty Rhodes. Blonde hair, built just like him, and from Florida. So some kind of
makes a lot of sense.
Kind of the opposite of engine that goes in a car. Engine. So there was some of that going on. Blonde hair. I mean, just I'm not gonna say platinum, but just blonde.
Naturally platinum hair.
Natural.
Whatever
head
the hell
to
that
toe.
means.
I mean, whatever.
Hey, look, sometimes that happens.
No, you see people all the time with dark hair from head to toe, but it's rare to see somebody, a hairy person, that from head to toe it is just blonde. And I mean thick, like you get up on them and you're like, damn, you're really hairy. But
Robin Williams?
Their hair's like that, except the hair's so light that you can't see it. It's that color.
I bet that's bad texture.
It was a very interesting color spectrum. It made people, and this guy, my buddy, he was bad news. He looked like a choir boy, but he was that guy that people would, people would give him shit because he looked like a choir boy.
But
and then they'd start to warm up a little bit, and I'd try to say something, then I'd be talking. I was like, hey, talking to my buddy. I wouldn't even be talking to the other person. I didn't care what the other person had to say. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And the other person would always interrupt me before I could finish talking to my buddy because I didn't care what the other person had to say because I knew what the outcome was going to be.
Yeah.
Okay. He was one of those people that would fight you to the death.
Oh.
Okay. You better be ready. If you laid a hand on him in that kind of manner, you better be ready to kill him because he would fight you to that point. And there's a lot of people, and I personally have been, I have been.
You've been that person?
I have been tainted as a coward for not returning fire. But I have been in two situations in my life where I initiated it because I was having a bad day and my ego got the best of me, and then got met with resistance that I was like, ooh, wow. I don't think I really want to suffer that much for me being an asshole because I knew that I had started it. Okay, I knew it was my motive. Yeah, they were sitting there in the way. Yeah, they were getting my nerves. So what? I made contact.
Yeah, but at the same time...
They made contact.
Well, here's the thing. At the same time, it's like if you're trying to move past somebody and they're just standing there and you get irritated out of them, it's not like they have to pull out a gun just because you happen to be an asshole.
Well, see, that's the whole thing. See, if that's what's in your toolbox, that's what you're going to bring out. That's why you don't. That's why you teach. You have to teach you have to teach a respect for that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, all right. Even
because otherwise,
well, I'll put it to you like this. Okay, imagine the stereotypical Irish interaction when someone has said the wrong thing. It's all over pop culture. Is it true? I don't know. Will they mix it up? I think they will.
It is. It is entirely possible.
I'm just saying. It's not stereotypical. It's just
hey. Sometimes that happens.
Well, tall people are known for dunking basketballs. Big deal. Nobody's got to stick up their ass about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So these people will mix it up. To get their frustration out, but they're not. In neighborhood, type of hey, there's a misunderstanding. They're not, going to pull out a weapon or bomb somebody's house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just...
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, it's having that kind of interaction without... It's not really...
It's like we're playing an insult.
It's settling differences. It has nothing to do with you're right and I'm wrong, or I'm wrong and you're right.
Look, sometimes,
just keep your hands off each other. Just don't understand. There's a big thing going on, There's just this overview that's being...
There's 1,000 big things going on.
Well, I know, but it's real. I mean, hey, what better to have time to have a podcast to talk about it?
I guess.
I just think it's some real interesting stuff going on.
It just makes me wonder what's at the end of the road. You know what I mean?
Well, see, that's the whole thing. See, there's no end to the road. Well, I'll put it to you like this. Okay, all right, let's be cool. All right.
What are you talking about?
What I'm saying is when winter arrives, there's seasons and everything. When winter arrives, you go outside and shake your fist to the sky and go, "Damn it, you better warm up," or do you go back inside, or never even attempted such a foolish thing, and put a big coat on a hat on?
Fair.
You understand what I'm saying?
I guess
there's a season that takes place.
I guess the world as a rule is in a spirit. It's basically in a overall quote unquote wintry season.
Yeah.
I don't mean winter
absolutely.
I don't mean winter as in cold. I mean winter as in either decay or decline. Like a temporary halting of everything.
Like a January, February type of thing.
Yeah, or wherever the fuck you people are
living.
No,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's late fall, there's winter, there's late winter.
Yes.
There's early spring.
Yes.
Okay. We're in an early winter.
Yes.
Or maybe mid.
Early to mid, I'd say.
See, because, our situation is, a little...
I definitely would say that the panorama was like the Sentinel transition from a worldly fall or autumn into a winter. I would say that.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is it's always dark. Here we go. Where do these sayings come from? What gives them power? It isn't necessarily a structure of it. It's just a description that gives it power.
Indeed.
And it says when is the dark? It's always darkest before the dawn.
Indeed.
Okay. So the best thing that we see, I think that's what I think the winter solstice is. I mean, it goes back for
but it is
they kind of threw a feast.
Yeah.
Before they knew that they were on the downside and getting ready to go into the really rough part of winter.
Oh yeah.
Which meant at least a third of them were going to die, or a fifth,
give or take. That's typically what the original.
Just 200 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, an eighth.
Yes.
Okay. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Fifth thing.
People will die.
People are going to die. So you're going to put them in the ground and drink a lot and they're away.
That's kind of what the original. That's kind of the part of the original origins of Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, holidays get us month to month.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people in this world. They're like, hey, I can't wait. It's Christmas that gets them through the year.
Which, admittedly, is kind of unfortunate, but hey.
So, when peppered in there is the, giving thanks, being appreciative.
Yes.
There's
spooky time.
Some drunk holidays.
Oh, yeah.
They've kind of cleaned up spooky time, but,
which is bullshit.
Hey, man, you don't want
I'm just saying we needed some contrast.
Well, I'm telling you, the bro brought up something one time that was really cool. He said, it's really interesting when you get out of church, and
yeah,
he said, you get out of church on Wednesday nights around here in October, and all you can hear is people screaming, somebody chasing them with a chainsaw.
Yeah, exactly.
You come out of the church, and then you hear that, and it's like that was a real good observation. He was a street legal at that time when he said that. That was kind of interesting. I was like, yes, and you're right. That's pretty cool. See, that's something I really look forward to with you and bro.
Yeah.
To toss something at me that I'm like, wow, that's cool.
Just observations?
Just observation. I love this stuff.
Well, I will say this observation, which is going to be a hard cut into something else.
This was not a test.
No, this is not a test. I think Marvel is in a pickle.
Sure.
Like, seriously, in some kind of pickle.
Well, see, here's the thing.
Hypothetically speaking. Hang on.
That's very good.
Hang on. Like, hypothetically speaking, if it was possible to short just Marvel Studios, now would be time to start looking directly into that. Because here's the thing. Here's it. A couple weeks ago, as of this recording, the Doctor Strange 2 Into the Multiverse, or whatever the hell, was released, and I was like, I might go see it. I may not. I may.
Is this the second one?
The second Doctor Strange movie. The first one, he was going 90 miles an hour in the rain on a cliffside alongside of a mountain somewhere out in possibly California. Crashed, broke his hands, met Tilda Swinton. Hey, she is amazing. And whenever you need a character to look weirdly alien and what the hell is it when you androgynous, you call her
African. I don't know.
Androgynous. That's when you call her. And then that was the first Doctor Strange movie, and then there was one guy who got all pissed off and just like, you used the time stone to fuck over time in order to save humanity from these 8 other people who also tried to fuck over time in order to quote unquote save humanity. What the fuck? He was just gotten all pissed off because Tilda Swinton was somehow pulling her supposed immortality and power from the dark side of the Force, and that made her evil because she perverted the so-called natural forces of the world. And my question was, if it wasn't natural, then why do those things exist?
Hey, is there water in that bottle?
Always.
Okay.
Would you like some water?
No, thank you. I'll
Okay.
check it.
Water?
Well, I'll take some water. Sure.
Okay, so that was the first Doctor Strange, and the second one apparently is like, hey, what if we put Doctor Strange and portals together, like the Valve portals?
See. Oh, you're just talking.
Yeah, I'm talking.
Okay.
But here's the thing: the reason why I bring it up. Yes, yeah. You in the back.
Yeah, no. Why,
okay.
The reason you bring it up.
The reason I bring it up is because I was half wanting to go see it, half not wanting to. Like in theaters, I can have it easily
acquired. Right?
The second one.
Is it out?
Yeah, it's out. It's in theaters.
Okay.
Also, Mobius crashed and burned, so that's basically the...
the trailer didn't look... Well, see...
The trailer didn't look really good.
I'm going to tell you something.
Morbius.
I'm going to tell you what killed it.
Jared Leto.
No, they overestimated that type of...
They overestimated the fan base.
Yes.
That's exactly what they did.
There's a certain dynamic to that type of story.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the thing. There are people who are willing to go see Morbius just because he's Morbius. And
I want to see it. I'm not going to a theater to see it.
Oh, no.
Just because
but there's also people who would see Morbius because it's a vampire flick.
Well...
But the problem is that there had been so much bad gas around Jared Leto for various reasons, that some of which we have actually talked about in the past. And he just was not. Maybe he did the perfect Morbius, but it was the wrong time to get that production off the ground.
No, they missed the window of opportunity.
Oh yeah, if they made
that movie would have came out 3 years ago, it would have got more traction.
Oh my god!
Or 2 years from now,
yeah,
you'll see people pick it up in the future.
Oh, I know that.
I haven't seen it. I'm just saying it. It's.
Oh, I know that.
What's that book? Stephen King wrote. Janus.
Dense Macabre.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about it?
He made a very good observation.
Mm-hmm.
That because I remember the late. Ooh. That number I remember the late.
Do we need a new one of those?
Eventually, but this one still works.
Okay, because you keep adjusting it literally every time we start recording.
Yeah, we could use a new one.
Yeah, how about that? Because, and plus you have clearly figured out at least 80% of what the fuck this market is.
I think so.
I think I've managed to get about 50%.
Well,
I understand the general concept.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
The better you get at it, the smaller the window gets.
Oh, I know that.
That's it.
No, I'm just...
So when you begin to understand the big picture...
No, I get it. Damn it. No, I get it. Here's the thing. I get the general point.
Yeah.
And the general vibe of it. I somewhat grasp the Elliott wave theory. I get it that it's an infinite Nautilus conch shell pattern.
Don't pay attention to that too much.
I know, but it's very hard not to, because I'm just like, is that what infinity looks like? I can understand why.
You're coughing on somebody else's cigar smoke. You gotta let that go.
No, but anyway, so
it's not germane. It has no application.
I know the infinity part is not part of it. I'm just telling you.
It just is.
I know.
You can't see the air that you will. Unless you're in LA, you can't see the air that you breathe.
LA, Beijing, London.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Paris, probably.
You don't know,
I get it. No, I get that. It's just, I know where I stand.
No,
I just don't know how to look
You're sharpening the saw. That's it.
Fine. I'm not beating myself up over it.
Good.
Here's the thing. This is something that I'm not going to quit. I may get depressed with it. I may put it down. I may talk to you for advice to get myself back into it. But I will eventually get back into it.
Oh, if I knew what you know now, I would have never got out of it.
Exactly.
I would have never
Because
put it down.
here's the thing. Here is the quote. I have found this. This was a quote that I found when I was in high school during my weirdly intense swing phase. That is not a joke. Lasted for about 3 months, but I still like it.
Music.
Music. Swing music. So I remember coming across a song lyric that has basically become my mantra for this year, and I guess for you as well. I ain't lazy, but I don't want to work no more.
I ain't lazy, but I don't want to work no more. Oh.
That has become my mantra. And it's part of the reason why the capital S, capital F spring fever has been just making me act up.
Do you know what it is?
What?
Because of
the opportunity.
Because of what we're doing, you can see the light.
Yes.
You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know that you just got to get better at doing this.
Exactly.
And nail down the discipline.
Mm-hmm. And then that's it.
And then that's it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's I'm gonna tell you something.
That's the it.
That's tough to. Well, I'm not gonna say it's. Well, see, here's the thing. I'm not gonna say it's difficult to navigate that or it's easy to navigate that because, and I shouldn't.
Yes.
Because anytime this situation presents,
yes,
that's the way we all look at it.
Correct.
Okay, and it's not something. It's not something to. I mean, hitting three, hitting the ball 3 times out of 10 at bats puts you in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
That's the Baseball Hall of Fame.
That's the Baseball Hall of Fame.
3 out of 10 times.
3 out of 10.
Imagine if you could do more than that. And that's what this is.
Very few do.
Yes.
So that's the whole thing in the nutshell.
Yeah,
you just have to.
And I've very clearly explained, definitely to you, it's like, I'm not doing this just to be the billionaire. I'm not doing this just for any title or any advantages or nothing. It's the reason I'm scrambling really hard and I'm trying really hard to stick with it.
It's coming.
Oh, I know it is. It can't not.
That's what the spring fever's about.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's the thing, is I just want to get to that point where it is.
Yeah.
That's the job. The quote unquote job is the day trading.
Is the day trading.
And that's what I'm scrambling to. Once I get to that, doesn't have to be big. Doesn't have to be anything ginormous.
Right.
Just where I can do that full time.
It's just like anything else. Malcolm Gladwell.
Who?
The term outliers.
Yes.
I don't know if he coined it, but he definitely popularized it.
Yeah.
He talks about people that are world known.
Yes.
Worldwide known to
Yes.
what they do. Like writer Stephen King, Slash the guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
Nolan Ryan, professional baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of thing. Someone who is world known for whatever it is they do.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really matter what it is. But Malcolm Gladwell talks outliers are people that have you reach global status, global known status about somewhere in the neighborhood of 10,000 hours.
10,000 hours?
Yeah.
Fair.
Of exposure.
Mm-hmm.
It's engaging in, studying, that sort of thing.
All of it.
All of the above. So you just got to put the time in.
No, I get it.
But, as those incremental, as you reach 5, and I can tell you as a nurse, it's really interesting to go from, when a nurse at 5 years is a completely different nurse at 10 years, different nurse at 15 years. 20, it begins to settle out. 25, there's really not a big difference between 25 and 30. But there's a big difference between 30 and 5. So it's just a matter of time. You know, just like learning a language, you know, and that's exactly what it is. It's just learning a language.
Just learning a language.
Learning how to read it. Learning how to read this language, okay? If you had a book in front of you that was a completely different font, that was shapes that you didn't recognize, give it time. If you had some kind of key, something helping you to learn it.
Yeah.
You just got to put the time in. That's it. That's it.
In order for your brain to fully grasp it, yes.
Well, it's. I mean, yeah. I guess to develop that muscle memory. Okay, when you can just
go.
It's kind of like when you were trying out. I have a theory. When you were trying out for your black belt, when you knocked that last opponent out.
Yeah.
With a kick to the jaw.
Yeah.
Something to be able to land those types of blows, you have to relax and give yourself to the spirit of the moment. Okay. That's why if you ever watch these, greatest knockouts.
Yeah.
You rarely see the person that throws the knockout blow. You rarely see them like gritting and like, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
That whole full control of it, like they're gonna deal you. It's always the wind.
Oh,
So
yeah.
It's always that natural motion that they just let go. They just lose themselves in the moment, and it just goes, and then bang, because it lands exactly where it's supposed to.
That's usually why in a lot of movies and anime and whatnot, it's not the frothing at the mouth brute that's the big bad.
Yeah.
It's always the one guy or gal or whatever that's like not frothing at the mouth, who is 100% calm. It's there's this one scene in The Boys season 2.
Yeah.
Okay, because I mentioned this because they're trying to make a season 3. I don't know how they're gonna end it, but okay. But in season 2 of The Boys, Homelander is in the office of the CEO of the company. I forget what these people are called, but whatever. So Vought, thank you, Vought. And we've already seen that Homelander is yes. So when he's talking all big and bad and threatening the CEO, we're thinking like, oh shit, here we go again. And instead their CEO, who is played by, I forget his name, but he is awesome, is not spooked one tiny bit. In spite of what we've seen, in spite of what we know Homelander's capable of, this CEO, this dude, the Vought president guy, I forget his character name and the actor's name, but this man was calm, cool, and even got upset with Homelander.
Oh yeah, I saw
like
that
he
too.
was able to be upset with him.
Okay, wait a minute.
Wait a fucking minute. Yeah, you were like, it'd be different if he
all
was...
these things you covered up and you don't know he's this big of a psychopath.
Exactly. Or the fact that you have such, or the fact that you think you've got the biggest nuts in the city to be able to not only speak in a calm, rational manner to this guy, but have the ability to be upset with him.
Yeah.
That was what got me. It's one thing for someone to just like throw a fucking table through a window and you go, all right, relax. We'll clean this up later. What happened? There's a difference between that and I cannot believe you did this. There's a difference between that and being upset with someone. That caught me off guard. I was like, oh, this dude knows something, or he's more dangerous than we anticipated.
Definitely has more control than it looks like he should have.
Exactly. Which makes him a threat.
I thought that was like, I think you're overplaying your hand.
Yeah, it was like, this guy is either bluffing or he's got something in the bag.
I guess.
And with season 3 coming up, I guess we're going to find out what that is. Because that's the only way The Boys is going to end. With Homelander dead. That's it.
I don't think. I don't know how you're gonna.
How
Well,
it's gonna happen? Yeah, that's the thing is we don't know what's gonna happen.
They'll do that about their third to last season.
Oh yeah.
It'll take them two. They know that'll be the story arc.
Yes.
And then they'll decline from that.
Yeah.
And try to rebuild.
Yeah.
You know, it's like TV shows that bring a baby in after they've been on TV for 16 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like that. When a big change like that pops up.
Yeah.
So no, I get it. I need to go back. Why is Marvel Studios in a pickle? Well, because the latest Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
You guess who's directing it?
I have no idea.
Sam Raimi.
Oh.
The Doctor Strange 2 Into the Multiverse
I bet you didn't pay him anymore.
It's directed by Sam Raimi. I don't know what. Well, here's the thing. Think about it.
Yeah.
This was brought to my attention from a meme basically talking about how Sam Raimi was probably going to use this chance getting back into Marvel and therefore Disney's good graces and as a Trojan horse to set up Evil Dead 4, which I'm not saying no.
Right.
I'm not saying we'll never have an Evil Dead 4, but I don't know how feasible it is right now anymore.
Right.
You know, all those guys are old. Bruce Campbell is officially retired.
No.
You know, it would just be dumb. You know, not unless they completely changed the lead character.
Yeah, of course, there's always, search for more money.
Yeah, of course. I get that concept. But I'm not saying that's off the table, but at the same time, I'm just thinking it's not the Evil Dead that got that to my attention. It was the whole thing of, okay, first and foremost, the last Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, was essentially a huge callback to the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy and technically the Amazing Spider-Man stuff. Old stuff that the younger audience wouldn't know, but the mid to much older would recognize to pull that in.
We just the other night did the same thing. We went saw Lamb of God open up for Megadeth.
Yeah, exactly.
You got two populations
you're hitting. Yeah, same deal.
Yeah, same deal.
And now you're letting the guy that created the Sam Raimi in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, and he's directing the newest Doctor Strange movie.
Well, I mean,
and I got nothing against Sam Raimi. I love Sam Raimi. In fact, this has changed my mind. I have to go see this in the theaters soon.
Don't do it.
Oh, I'm doing it.
Ugh.
This is happening. So, but here's the thing. Sam Raimi is complicated.
Yeah, but
by reputation,
you were really asking about
why this is a bad sign.
Well, how do you cut it with Marvel?
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, Sam Raimi is a complex figure. I don't mean complex as in like, oh, he's a director, but he's also like a Swiss chocolatier or anything like that. Nothing weird like that. What I mean is by reputation, got started in the horror genre, created one of the biggest horror phenomenons, is a master at balancing tone. Because he's, the reason why Evil Dead 2 is a brilliant horror comedy is because he put them together and it went like peanut butter and chocolate.
Hey,
and for people who don't know what I'm talking about, I want you to watch the Spider-Man 2 movie, the one with Tobey Maguire and Doc Ock in it, and I want you to watch the whole movie, up until the hospital scene, and back out of it. That's what I'm talking about.
No.
Yes.
All right.
He is a master of balancing tone. And that has kind of, a lot of general audiences can't really handle the total whiplash a lot of times. At least not anymore, I guess. So the fact that they're bringing in this complicated director into the fray, it's like, oh, you're trying to scrounge up as much money as you can by trying to nostalgia bait the shit out of this, are you?
Nostalgia bait. Okay, all right. Time out.
What? Am I wrong?
Nostalgia bait.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
What? What now?
No.
What?
I'm giving you a compliment.
Nostalgia bait?
Proceed.
Okay. Well,
I just phrased it a certain way.
Yeah.
The words are the same. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
The intention. No, I'm with you. I mean, hey. Well, you have to.
That's kind of what Disney has moved into, is just using nostalgia to grab as much money, but they're not really.
They're definitely not focusing on new content.
No, they are not. And the new content that they do create, it's either not good or completely buried.
It's not getting the traction it once got.
It's not getting the traction it once got. Honestly, it's mostly the Pixar side of things that's still getting them money. You know, Encanto, Red Panda, yeah, those were getting attention, but that's kind of it, really. But that's about, I would say, 20-30% of what Disney's doing, as opposed to the other percentage, which is just rehashing what's already been successful and trying to repackage it, sell it to the old audience that first seen it, and trying to get to a new audience, and, you know, basically that whole, you know, cycle.
Well, they can't accomplish that by ticking off the old.
Exactly. And
because it's the old that shares it with. I mean, it's your mother and I that shared that material with you and bro.
I get it.
And you know, I don't know. I'm not saying you can't. They keep introducing.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like political demonstrations at sporting events. I didn't tune in to see something like that.
Yeah,
I want to watch the game.
No,
I don't want to think about that. That's why I'm watching the effing game in the first place. That's why I'm watching this film.
That's something
it's escapism. I don't want to deal with and if I did want to deal with the outside world, guess what? You wouldn't get my money.
Indeed.
Okay? I don't pay you to tell me what's going on in the world. Okay? You provide escapism. Mm-hmm. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Okay? Stop screwing me around. All right? If you ain't going to do that anymore, then go be a political organization. I don't care.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. That's your deal. That's your gig, okay? But when I come to you, this is what I want. You don't go to an ice cream parlor and get a tuna sandwich.
No.
Okay?
No,
this is what you provide. This is I come to you because this is what I want.
I 100% agree.
It just drives me bananas.
This is what. Here's the thing. This is why I re-downloaded all of my gaming apparatuses on my computer that, you know, for a period of time I didn't use. This is why the movie The Lost City with Sandra Bullock in it and Channing Tatum. Oh my God, it's a success.
Yeah.
You know, it's a box office hit. Why? Because it is a fucking stupid, simple, romantic love story. It's got Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum with his shirt off and apparently his pants down because apparently we needed that. Daniel Radcliffe acting like a fucking British spoiled twat.
What else is new?
Yeah, exactly. Now, he strikes me as a pretty decent fella.
He does.
But, however, I do have to maintain the whole quota of, until I meet you, I'm just going to automatically assume you're an asshole, just so I'm not surprised.
That would be the best place to start.
Yes. Like, here's the thing.
Okay.
Like, there's some people, they're in interviews, they seem pretty chill, but you don't know who they are when that camera turns on.
No, you don't.
And that's why I have that rule in place. Anyway, and here's the thing. The Lost City is this stupid but dumb movie. It works for what it is. It's not complex. And it's a big hit. Meanwhile, here's the thing. It does not connect to the modern world in terms of anything agenda-based or regardless. So either side of the fence. That's the thing I want to get across is it doesn't matter which side of the fence the agenda is coming from.
No, it doesn't.
I don't want to see either.
Yeah, it's just getting to the point where just a couple of people are screwing it up for everybody.
So,
well, see, that's the whole thing. Well, that's what they don't understand. See, when you allow
I'm just numb.
when you allow your decisions to reach a certain level,
yes,
and your acceptance of the, lack of a better term, consequences of those decisions, what you don't realize is you have slipped into the fringe. Okay, and ultimately, and it really isn't personal.
No.
You're just a fringe. I love being just a, tattered fringe thread. Okay, all right, that's cool.
Go do that somewhere else.
It's just a matter of time for you to do it by yourself.
Indeed.
Okay. You are going to be alone. Okay, you can clean to each other all you want to.
This is just what it is.
Hey, everybody driving on the right side, in North America, everybody driving on the right, their right side of the road, regardless of the road. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. They might do it different somewhere else, and some people do.
Yeah.
Okay, but here,
this is how it is.
This is how it is.
Indeed.
And nothing. Imagine. Okay, that's what people are. That's what people with these. Alternate DNA choices are basically. Will you ever become anything other than a really tiny minority? Okay, the chances of you flipping that is about the chance, or it actually being legit. It's about the chances you have to take North America, and then all of a sudden, next Tuesday, everybody's got to start driving on their left. Everybody.
Okay.
Starting tomorrow, everybody, we're going to start driving on the left side of the road. Okay? All right? Ready? Break. Good luck.
Indeed.
Good luck.
I get it.
Okay. So that's what and people who are people who drive on the right side of the road need to wake up and realize that, you know what? There's more of us than there are of you. And
I think sooner or later
I'm not trying to minimize your application to this overall process, but you don't get to tell me what to do.
No, I get it.
Or how to look at things.
Or either side of the fence.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is it's not even half and half. Okay, all right.
I get it.
There's some people that are making a whole lot of money by pushing that type of thing.
Well, I don't think it's going to last too much longer because here's the thing.
It can't.
Well, here's the thing. Think about it. Like we were talking about earlier, the world has kind of entered in some kind of what I would deem early winter, midwinter type of quote-unquote season. Just kind of a little bit of decay and decline.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. With all the stuff about, some people and where they are either in the world or part of North America or otherwise are talking about there's gaps in the grocery store. When I go to try to get my groceries, there's less of them and they're 5 times more expensive than yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. At some point, those people are, and we are technically on that list as well.
Sure.
We're gonna want, hey, let's not think about where we are right now, and they're gonna want that escapism, and eventually they're gonna be a lot more vocal about what gets popped out.
What gets purchased?
What gets purchased?
Yeah,
what gets popped out? What tries to get sold?
Of all, there's a whole lot of people that have a whole lot of issues with capitalism and free economy and free market, whatever. All I'm saying is that's
it's very unfortunate.
Once again,
you feel that
if
way.
you want to pull it down, okay, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to take something on the level of you would have to reset everything completely, and eventually those voices will get old enough and tired enough that they'll peter out. They always do. If you look at if you look at North America in the like 1910, same type of thing was going on. There was buildings being bombed from the one particular side of the political spectrum, extremes, because that's around the time 1917. That's when the whole, the Russian Bolshevik Revolution, 1913, 1917,
somewhere in there,
took place. So the world was rife with that type of ideology, and it runs its course. And unfortunately, you get caught up in it. Whatever's going on right now in North America, you're going to get caught up in it. We're going to pay a price for it.
I get it,
but it's going to be.
Well,
but 10 to 20 years, it's like, because I remember when in the 80s and everybody in the city was just a crackhead, or at least it's all the news talked about.
Indeed.
But and I was like, man, it was like, but it ran its course. It literally created an atmosphere that was so dysfunctional to even be associated. It had become so toxic. crack cocaine, selling crack cocaine, crackhead. It became the terminology became so toxic that nobody. All you had to do was call somebody a crackhead to either start a fight or get them straighten up.
Basically.
And so, that's kind of going on now, except the issue is it's not a activity. It's an entire demographic group of people that, you may not agree with what is termed as traditional. I don't really understand that word. That's like telling me walking with my feet on the ground instead of flying up into the air is traditional. I don't know. That's the way this reality is structured.
Sure.
When I get out of bed, I don't fly up into the air. My feet stick to the floor. Literally, I do clean my floors. And I walk outside and put my feet on the earth. Yeah. Okay.
So what's your point?
What I'm saying is what I'm talking about, people are trying to disrupt as traditional. What I'm telling you is it's like gravity. It's always been this way. It's not going anywhere. There's going to be blurps and hiccups and things like that, earthquakes, tidal waves.
Sure.
That always disrupts our environment here on Earth. And then that's all. It's a storm. So that's all we're going through right now culturally is a storm. There will be. It's a winter. We will be on the other side of it because there can't be any other outcome. You understand what I'm saying?
Sooner or later, it will pass.
Sooner or later, it will pass. It may take a generation, may take a couple generations.
But it will pass.
But it will pass. It has to. It can't be any other way.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I really enjoyed about George Carlin. I think if George Carlin was alive today, he would absolutely lose his mind. I cannot. The side that always was like, fuck the government is now, fuck the CIA, and now it's like, oh, hey, let's trust the CIA. You know that? So I never thought I'd hear people.
That's actually something
that is the craziest, and it has nothing to do with CIA. That's just an example.
That's just an example.
Yeah, and
honestly and truly, that's just kind of why I've just shut all that out because it's just I'm just sitting here just like I don't.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's just people are absolutely poisoning themselves with it.
And what's weird is I am just getting berated by people who are constantly sharing news articles and puff pieces. It doesn't matter what it's about.
Isn't that crazy?
And they're just like, look at this. What do you think of this? What is your opinion? And I'm just not reading any of them, just shove them to the side. It's like, okay, look, if you want to talk about like something that's happening in your life, that's fine. I will give you advice about that. Don't ask me about shit that I didn't start and I can't control.
You remember when you and your brother, you and bro were younger, and I just said, as you grow up, you're going to run into all this crazy shit in the news, and they're talking about the world's end, and everybody goes off their effing nut.
Yes.
And I said, just don't pay it attention.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Because it's always been this way.
Yeah, exactly.
They always, it's ridiculous. It's absolute. Now, during the 80s, y'all can kiss my butt. The Gipper, as president, there were a couple years when everything was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But under certain political, there's just in the late 90s, a couple years, 2010, somewhere around there. Ish. But, no, it's always been this way. That's what I told you. I said, I've been here my entire life that the world's going to end tomorrow, and I just got to the point where I was living my life that way, and I was like, man, this is killing me.
No, I get that. My problem is not the whole thing about, oh, hey, people keep talking about the world's going to end, and I'm just like, oh, okay, plug my ears in, just go back to playing the fucking, my fucking GameCube apparatus. Sorry, my sinuses are still a little stopped up, so I'm not. I'm not talking with my nose. Honestly, that's the main thing that's.
You're fine, you big girl.
No, it's just this is the main thing that pissed me off about this spring bug is because it brought back out all of my speech impediments.
Oh.
Then I've just been very upset the past couple of couple of days.
That'll pass.
I know it will. When I get money off of this, I'm just gonna get a full doctor's workup of every speck of my body just to get a baseline and not do it again until 5 years later.
Sure.
Meaning my ears get checked out because I want to make sure this shit stops. Anyway, so the fuck was I talking about? Oh, it's basically made me a hermit amongst my peers and friends. Did you know this thing happened in the news? And I'm just standing there. And
it's like
you know what's fucked up? You know what I've discovered that is incredibly fucked up? You know how I figured out the best way to avoid this stuff?
How?
This is gonna be fucked up, and you may not believe me, but I swear to God, this is my primary defense mechanism.
Sure.
Again, certain people this will work with, some people it will not work.
There's always one.
Yeah. Whenever I'm around my peers who are basically in the alternative scene, let's just call it what it is, and they start talking about shit like that, you know what I do? I have to pretend to be really, really high, and they will not talk to me about it.
You're kidding.
I am not joking. I have to pretend to be.
Just say the cookie man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Exactly.
You don't even have to talk. You don't even have to say actual drug name.
No.
You're just like, man,
I just say, I had a gummy bear, man. I can't move. No, what happens is, okay, for example, this is exactly what
oil can.
This is exactly what I have to do. Last night, one of the primary people that was chirping at the Rocky Horror Shadowcast, I went to one of those. It was pretty good, albeit. Actually, I'll talk about it because there was some stuff that happened. Good stuff,
cool,
just unexpected, and I was making friends with I eventually made friends with the primary chirper at the Rocky Horror Picture Show last night for me. And people were talking and getting in groups and just talking about, politics. Because, yes, I guess what else is people going to talk about?
Sure.
At the beginning of the fucking Rocky Horror Picture Show shit. And I'm like, oh, shit. Please, no one talk to me. Then the chirper starts talking to me. And I'm just like, yeah. That's literally the entire shtick. That's it. And I just give him the thumbs up after every sentence in agreement.
God.
And eventually they figure it out. Because at first I start with not talking. And then at some point I move into the, hey, I'm sorry, I couldn't move. I couldn't talk to you. And usually they figure out, oh, this person is so stoned, they're not going to talk about, like, Roe v. Wade or anything like that. So let's just leave them alone. And they do.
Did somebody break that out at the show?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I know.
You dumb kids.
You see what I have to do?
I know.
Do you see what I gotta do? I have to pretend to be fucked up. And I'm just like, if you're just like, wait a minute. Is this literally what I have to do? No doesn't mean no to you guys. That's the thing that fucks with me.
No, exactly. No doesn't mean no to you guys. You're the ones that preach no means no, and no does mean no. I agree with that. But when I say no to you,
and it doesn't even have to be anything consequential.
No.
I could have said, hey, I'm not really following that right now. You know, I got a work thing. Or something.
You try to draw me to this inane, benign.
Yeah, I'm basically trying to set up some boundaries like, hey, I do not wish to talk about this.
And then they come back with, well, what the fuck is wrong with you? Don't you understand how big of a deal this is? How dare you stand there? They take the right, they take the high road, the unmitigated goal.
Exactly.
They're like, how dare you not be paying attention to this? Don't you know this is the end of the human race as we know it? God damn it.
Which of course, number one.
Calm down, people.
Yeah, number one, for some of you folk, that's called mansplaining.
Next.
Second, the fact that I have to pretend to be drunk or high in order for you to leave me out of it. Like, I'm going to have to build the reputation as being the stoner in this community.
Oh, my God.
Just to avoid this stuff.
Yeah.
It basically, I have to cultivate this image of everything happening is affecting me to the point where I have to numb myself in order for people to leave me the fuck alone.
I told you.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? Now look, I already said I was going to be Gandalf when I got older.
Sure.
Halfling pipe and all, if you catch my drift. I didn't think I'd have to do it this soon.
And without any third world organic, completely vegetable-based product interaction. So.
And maybe we'll see in a couple years. Anyway. So this is what I have to do.
Well,
it sucks. I will say this: the Rocky Horror Shadowcast. It was Rocky Horror Shadowcast. What'd you expect?
Was the same crew?
Some of the same crew. Some of the people's roles they switched. The Frankenfurter was the same person. They made the person that was Rocky last time Janet this time. They got some 4'1" person, and that was Rocky. The shortest, musculiest woman person they could find.
Sure.
I don't question these things.
Gotcha.
And there was only one part of the show that I was just like, really? Really? Because it was Friday the 13th themed.
Ooh.
So every now and again, they would bust out some rando person, wearing either like the ghost face mask or the hockey mask or the Michael Myers mask. Every now and again, just somebody would just break camp and just do some crazy shit like that.
Right.
The one that got me,
it
was the point. It's the scene in the middle of Rocky Horror where it's Janet in her bed chambers and then Frankenfurter pops in.
Right.
Stuff ensues.
Yes.
And then once that scene ended, the movie that was being rear projected onto the walls, suddenly stops and cuts to like static and the TV filler, no signal images.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to white static again, and then it started playing the Ring tape. And then the person who was playing Janet put on a black wig, crawled out from under the bed sheets that they were using to prop up the shadowcast actors to shadow cast the rear projected video and everything, and started to fuck with the audience as the Ring chick.
Uh-huh.
And here's the problem. I was sitting directly in the middle in the second row.
Yeah.
And no one was in front of me, so it was a straight line between me and this person dressed as Samara.
Uh-huh.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
I have said many times, like, there's just some horror stuff that doesn't, like, if it happened in real life, it wouldn't spook me. It's like, oh no, all this stuff happening at, like, Camp Crystal Lake, oh, I just won't go to Camp Crystal Lake.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Michael Myers is killing people in this particular neighborhood out in bumfuck nowhere or somewhere in middle America. Oh, I just won't go over there.
Sure.
And when they started playing the Ring tape, I was just like, no, don't you do that.
Well, you didn't go there for that.
I didn't go there for that, but I was like, hey, no, that's bad juju. I was like, don't you come over here. So I learned last night, I guess I'm scared of supernatural dead girls. How fun.
That'll happen.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's just the whole element with the Ring tape, how it's just not fun to watch, and it's just the portent to something really bad happening. It's just one of those things that freaks me out.
I think the Sentinel event of that movie is in the hook.
Yes.
Where the girl in the chair rotates around and has this ghoulish, unnatural facial expression.
This death mask.
Which is, this death mask that is absolutely computer generated.
But
that hit me right.
Because it looked so unnatural.
It was so unnatural. It looked so well, and that's what I think. If not for that one shot, I think that one shot made that entire movie.
It did.
Okay, because
the rest of it is
wasn't a climax. It was. See, they showed you the climax before you got to the story.
Yeah.
Because if you watch the tape 7 days later, this is what happens. That's the hook.
That's the hook.
So the story goes in how to avoid that, but you already know how it ends.
Yes. Basically.
Okay,
it's more of a race against time sort of deal.
Yeah. Well, there's the conflict.
Yes.
How do you stop this from happening?
Apparently a lot.
That's what I'm saying. That one scene, that one effect made that whole movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a very good movie. I mean, it would have been
was.
just fine if the person would have just turned around and been headless. But there was this unnatural shock to the human mind that had
it's not that this is
seen a face distorted like that.
Yeah, it's not the fact that this is a dead body. It's the fact it's a dead body killed in such an unnatural way.
Well, it kind of reminded me of the first time I saw an ER situation that changed, that began the first thing I saw that began to change me into the person that could stand there and look at anything was someone who tried to kill themselves. Well, they did with a shotgun. They blew the top of their head off, but apparently the part of the respiratory situation.
That was
drive. That's in the spinal column.
Yeah.
It's in the brainstem.
So he basically took off the top of his head, the parts of himself that made him a person.
Yeah, from the nose up.
Yeah. So he basically gave himself
his ears.
a really botched lobotomy.
Frontal lobe lobotomy. He took the frontal lobe off, but the majority of the brain, the parietal lobes and everything, occipital lobes and everything, all the way back, were intact, along with his brainstem, and he was still taking breaths. Everything from his nose up was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
But
so
that
he
back
had a mouth,
yeah,
and cheekbones,
yeah,
and the mouth was going.
But he was still so he was technically still drawing breath, but he was
still drawing breath.
But
the
that
top
part
of his head
was gone.
Was gone.
Oh, that's traumatizing.
And his brain was laying out on the stretcher.
That is traumatizing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When I saw that, and I won't go into any more detail, but when I saw that shot in the ring, that was exactly
it was the same
it
one.
was the same sensation I had when I saw the very first thing that began to adapt me to work at an ER. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Indeed. Christ.
But,
so, Jesus. So, there you go.
There you go. There you go. You like them? I make them.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out ways of doing stuff that we can talk about on this podcast, but at the same time, I'm just like, I don't want to talk about the news. There's a billion other places where they just recount the news.
No, I get
spin,
it. I get it. No, I'm down with that. I'm cool with that. I don't have a problem.
It's like, oh, hey, I want to do podcasts on video games and shit. That's
that's cool. No, I don't want to talk about say cultural or sociological or political stuff. I want to find a behavioral element of it.
Yes, that we can talk about.
It's like
the psychology.
It's like the Orange Man.
Yes.
He's just a loudmouth Yankee.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an overview right there. If you can start there.
Yes.
Okay. If you don't understand that.
Yes.
Okay. It's just like when we went to the Greek festival yesterday.
Which was very lovely.
Which was wonderful.
Yes.
Local Greek community has a Greek festival every
the food
year.
Is immaculate.
Oh, it's crazy. I don't really want to must sprinkle crack on it stuff.
I know.
And we were coming up to the gate to pay to get in, and there was this guy who kept going, what was he going? Nick!
Something like that.
Nick!
Yeah.
Nick! And you said, man, that guy's yelling. I said, that guy ain't yelling. He's Greek. So we walked around in the place where I got my adult beverage. I walked up. This old dude was wearing a shirt. And he looked at me and looked at him, and his shirt said, I'm not yelling. I'm Greek. I looked at him and I said, man, I love that shirt. I'll have two.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I will say this. I also saw a t-shirt over the weekend that I never thought existed, but I want one.
Okay.
It was these words that was encased in a circle, and it was like the happy, trippy, hippie font that you see some words on t-shirts.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? The hippie font?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Peace, love, and hollow point. And I'm like, damn it, I want that shirt. Ugh.
Peace, love, and hollow point.
Oh my God, I want that shirt. Ugh. I'm not even a gun person. I'm just like, yeah, I want that shirt. I think I'm gonna have to become a gun person because people. Here's the thing. Yeah. When we are working at my gym, since it's a private gym, we keep the doors locked. Appointment only.
Sure.
And if there's 3 or less people in there, we'll keep the doors locked. But if there's 4 or more people in there, we don't usually keep the door locked.
Sure. And
I'm trying to tell my boss, hey, can we keep the doors locked at all times? Because every now and again, people will jiggle on the door to try to get inside, realize they can't, and they'll leave. And I don't mean that in terms of, oh, hey, what's in here? Oh, I guess they're not open, and then they just turn around and leave. I mean, there's been some folk who look a little shabby walking up and down the street.
Right.
Before.
Oh, they're just checking for
they're casing the joint.
They're looking for an unlocked door.
They're looking for an unlocked door, and that's
Yeah.
happening more and more frequently.
I gotcha.
So now I'm just like, I guess I'm gonna have to take that plunge on top of all the other stuff that's happening, and I'm not happy about it.
No,
I'm not happy about this.
Yeah, but, well, you're ahead of the game,
Thank God.
You have training.
Fair.
You and bro have training.
I get it.
What's that song? You'll never be alone.
I guess.
You'll never be unarmed.
I understand that. All right.
So,
I get it.
Cool.
So that's basically what's been happening on my end.
Yeah.
And it's a drag.
Well, I'm telling you something. You just gotta. I know. You just gotta let it go. Let it go. You gotta just keep your eye, because I'm gonna tell you something.
Yes.
Well, it's almost like the closer you get to your goal,
the further away it seems.
so it just seems that there's like all this extra stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But see, that's why you have to have your goal as something you enjoy doing.
True.
Because if you enjoy doing it, it doesn't matter what happens. You're going to continue.
I get it.
I love to cook.
Yes.
And regardless of what happens, if I end up in a big house with a 5,000 square foot kitchen, or with an iron skillet at a bonfire in the woods,
yeah,
I am going to cook. I enjoy it.
I get it.
Okay, so when you find that thing that you enjoy, that sort of thing, you stick with it.
This is definitely something I enjoy.
That's cool. I mean,
because I can do it in one spot.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. That's my biggest thing. It's like, this is one of the reasons, other than yes, it is profitable. Yes, it is something that I definitely want to get better at it because it's profitable. But here's the thing. Something that I've learned, and this is something that I kind of figured out in high school, but it didn't really it took me a long time to realize it. I have definitely got to the point where I need to stop trying to brute force my way through something mentally and take breaks.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm reading that book right there, The Essentials for Forex Trading, yada yada. Good book, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm basically shoving it in one of my also technically trading friends' face. Whether or not he gets it, needs my advice, that's up to him. But
you're gonna have to drop that.
Oh, I know.
It's wasted effort.
No, I will. Here's the thing. I will present people with the opportunity.
Yeah, I did that for a long time.
But whether or not they take it, that's up to them. It's
Never
no
did.
skin off my nose if they do or don't. Because then they'll come back and say, but this thing you were talking about, why didn't you push hard? I'm not your fucking mom.
Yeah.
But anyway, but the thing is, when I'm reading that book, it's not a hard read book. It's not a hard read book.
No, it's not a hard read at all.
Yeah, it's not a hard read. But I know that once my eyes start to cross and the words start to blur on the page, I need to put the bookmark in, set it down, go do something else.
Yep.
I was out of my damn tree last week. Sick as a dog, trying to trade, losing money. And then my bro and I went to go get me a new mattress. I came back, set the mattress up, dumped the old one out, came back to the trading, and it went better. You gotta take breaks. You gotta take breaks. This is also why I reinstalled all my gaming apparatus. Because number one, while I'm trading, and I'm getting frustrated, I can just hop on over here and, I don't know, fucking play F-Zero.
That's cool.
Like the old F-Zero for like a couple minutes, like just go back into the trading, see if it gets any easier. You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
Plus, I've done that in light of the fact that gas is starting to get back out of control again. And my goals and dreams of my scheduled monthly trips up into some of the neighboring cities to go raid their thrift stores are going to have to wait. Yeah, because I got to drive up there and back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't cut yourself off entirely.
Oh, no, I'm not going to. I will still do stuff around here, just not out there.
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, I'm basically trying to force myself to accept the fact that I'm going to have to go back to being a homebody. I think that's part of it, is in winter, we're just all at our house, not really going out except for like work and essential stuff like groceries, but we're staying at our house, not doing an awful lot. Spring is the time you come out of your burrows, but thanks to the economic conditions of where what's happening in the world, you can't really do that an awful lot.
Right.
Or you can't do anything expensive. Not yet, at least. So now I'm just trying to put myself back in the position of, okay, we can be comfortable here. You see?
Right.
So, that's all it is.
Yeah. It's amazing to me how much money is going to at-home stuff. I downloaded something today. I just play solitaire and I win money. I knew that was coming.
Wait, what? What?
Just play solitaire on my phone.
Yeah. And it wins you money.
I think I got like 47 cents.
Shh. Oh, that don't
Said you can make 300 a day or something. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
I'm playing around with it. But anyway, I knew that was coming. I always wondered if you could like create an app. Because that generates whatever it is.
Ad revenue?
No. Well, yeah, ad revenue, but the game would be structured to like say that the input into this generates power for mining Bitcoin.
Yeah. Basically.
And it was a game.
Yeah.
It was a game you marketed.
Oh yeah.
See what I'm saying? I mean, I knew it was going to get to a point where we would start.
I will say this.
We would start having apps that pay people to play.
Just to play them. Yeah. I will say this.
Yeah.
As far as like, I know we've dabbled in attempting to build our own mining rigs. That day may be coming sooner than later.
Okay.
Because thanks to the popping, the bubble getting bigger and bigger, and eventually it's going to pop. All those graphics cards are just going to. Because here's the thing. They will drop. They will sink like a stone.
That's going to get rid of at least 50% of the people who are involved.
Oh yeah, exactly. And plus, here's the other thing. I checked like a couple days ago, and I think I remember seeing like one of the NVIDIA newest cards. It was sitting just under $3,000 a pop, and I'm like, it's a fucking graphics card.
Right.
Jesus, and hopefully that will go away.
Well,
I definitely want Ticketmaster to get.
I can't say for the entire cryptocurrency
this.
universe, but Bitcoin is for real.
Oh, I know.
And
probably
there's a bunch. We talked about there's a bunch of cryptos that are going to go to zero.
Yep.
Crypto is going to get a bad negative smack in the mouth. But people have been dumping money. It was just like I'm telling you, this exact same thing happened. I will never forget. I was in a hospital in upstate New York. In an ER up there, and I'm getting yelled at I'm getting called stupid by this lady who just happened to be the custodian about how come I didn't have. She started talking about the stock market, and I was like, oh well, and I said I didn't have any money in it, and she was like yelling at me how dumb I was because I didn't have no money in the stock market, and I said to her point blank, I don't know anything about the stock market. Therefore, I am not putting my money in it.
Truth be told, that is a very wise thing to do.
Well, I had seen an episode, I think it was Firing Line on PBS, like a month before this interaction, or before this interaction, it talked about this particular airlines for a particular country down under. had a value based on their stock. Based on their stock, they were valued somewhere around around $1 billion. But if you bought this airline and sold off all their physical assets, lock, stock, and barrel, there was only about $300 million. So there was like
basically the physical stuff was worth less than the concept of the airline.
That's how overvalued the stock. The stock was
that's
overvalued
not good.
to the tune of $700 million.
That's not good.
No, it's not good. Not to that level.
Not to that level. Oh, Jesus.
And that's why everything crashed when it did. So
yeah,
that's what kind of and I told her that. I was like, I said I don't know anything about the stock market, but I know something's wrong with that.
Something is wrong with that.
If your house, if you built it from the ground up, was worth. That's basically, this is what they're saying. Your house was, if you bought the land and built your house as is, and it would cost you $300,000, but I can sell you this land in this house for $1 million, which means it's $700,000 overpriced. Okay, there's something wrong with that, and that's why I didn't have my money in the stock market. Well, there's a bunch because what was going on in the '90s, there's a lot of people that were cashing in on IPOs.
Yes,
they were just ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it. They were ideas. They were in the development stage. There were two stoner dudes on a couch in their mom's basement. Hey man, you know, it'd be cool. We could blah, blah, blah. And then they got a whole bunch of money and couldn't put it together. It was a lot of the people were just dumping all this money.
That's kind of what's happening with crypto.
That's what's happened. That's what has exactly what's happened with crypto. All this money that's been dumped into the country.
Oh yeah.
You know, these stimulus checks over the last 2
and it's
years
all going
with the beer
into crypto.
There's a bunch of it that's gone into crypto.
You know what I'm curious about?
Yeah.
What I'm mostly curious about is you have all these folk who in the past they were like, oh, I'm going to put 20 grand into this less than 0.11% of a cent.
Right.
And I'm just going to hold on to that in that currency until it hits 1 cent and I make $3 million or whatever the ratio is.
Mm-hmm.
When these coins hit zero and stop existing, is all that that's basically a bunch of U.S. money that just disappeared.
Well, somebody got it.
You know what I mean?
You are describing exactly what happens when you become astute enough to just skim off the top.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
2008, they talk about, $6 trillion disappeared. It didn't disappear. It went somewhere.
But here's the problem, is we've already seen, because of the dumb shit that was happening in Canada a couple months ago, about, I can't remember exactly what happened, but the government was trying to seize people's assets, their crypto, on top of it.
Right.
I can't remember exactly what happened, but that did occur.
That was the gist of it.
And there were these crypto trading platforms that said, they basically wrote a formal letter to the government and said, hey, look, these people put their coins or this currency on like a flash drive or a hard drive or whatever they got.
Right.
We don't have any physical, cybernetic, or even legal right to any of that. No, we cannot seize or freeze their crypto assets because it's no longer on the platform.
Right.
It's out of our hands. So,
and we can't tell you where they are or where that value
is. So,
not that we don't want to.
We just can't.
We physically don't have the ability to do it.
Yes.
Technically, we don't have the ability to do it.
So this fits in line with your argument about how crypto is the new gold.
It is.
Basically, that. But also, again, with these currencies, they say matter cannot be destroyed. It can only be energy can only be destroyed. It can't be destroyed. It can only be transferred into something else or recycled into something else. So
transition.
So basically, if some bitch put 20 or so grand of whatever currency they've got, whatever the equivalent of it, into a dipshit crypto coin that's like 0.16 zeros, and then you see some numbers, hoping that once it hits 1 cent, they become a quintillionaire.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden that coin no longer exists.
And that's going to happen.
But you still have this hard drive full of 20,000 of these dinky rink coins that no longer exist. Right. What the fuck is that? Is that Schrodinger's currency? Do you know what I'm talking about?
What I personally would do would be to hang.
Like, they can't transfer it into US dollars or into pounds or euros. Like, it's nothing.
Hang on to it.
Okay.
It ain't gonna kill you. I mean, what are you gonna do? Throw that flash drive in the trash?
Somebody will.
Somebody will, and that's dumb. Look at the dude that has got $300 million on a laptop.
Yeah.
In a landfill that he's been trying to dig up for 8 years.
Yeah.
And find that laptop. And even if he does find that laptop, how do you know that is going to be even accessible? You know what I'm saying? It's been laying in the ground for 8 years.
Exactly.
Don't throw it away. If it ever had
that dude is living out the movie Holes.
Yeah,
is what
exactly.
is happening.
If you ever had something of value, don't just throw it away.
Don't just throw it away.
It's like people throwing away. I used to hear these stories all the time when I was a kid about Mom threw out my comic books or Dad threw out my baseball cards. Okay, something that it whether you like it or not, just stick it in the drawer for crying out loud.
Exactly.
I mean, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It might turn into something spectacular.
Oh, I know that. So there you go. But don't be a hoarder.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't be a hoarder.
Alrighty. I have to blow my nose, and we're almost out of time anyway. All right, you got anything else?
I'm pretty good.
Alrighty. So, that's it, folks. I was your host, Bel-E.
And I was your co-host, Mr. Scratch.
And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.